Tonight, it's all about allergies. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and pull up my sheet. And there it is. You should have gotten that in an email. I hope that you did. And, I think we're all familiar with how it feels when we have allergic distress, when we respond to an allergy. But, why do we get them? What are they exactly? Well, allergies are caused by your immune system becoming hyper vigilant to a threat that's really not that big of a deal. Like pet dander, is that such a big deal? It's not like a nuclear bomb. Dandelions, eggs, a bee, stings, dust, right? I mean, these are things that just are in our environment. So I think the best way to understand allergies is to really understand the function of the immune system. So the immune system is your response to the body's ability to properly identify a pathogen. So a pet dander, dandelion eggs versus COVID-19, right? And I engage in a series of responses that are designed to prevent the pathogens. Sorry, somebody's coming in. Okay. And then there are a series of responses that are designed to prevent the pathogen from targeting your cells and your tissues. And so you have two lines of defense with regards to your immune system. You have the innate and you have the adaptive immune systems. And the innate immune system are things like your physical barriers, your skin, your fingernails, the mucous membranes, your tears, earwax, and these prevent invaders from entering the body. We have chemical barriers such as fatty acids, stomach acids, proteins, and secretions, once you're inside of that gut tube, that will kill those pathogens. And this is why essential oils work so well for us, is because we share an innate immune system with plants. So plants are using their oils to protect them from pathogens, and we in turn can use oils to protect ourselves. So then we have another layer of defense, and it's called the adaptive immune system. And that steps up when a pathogen passes that physical barrier. If the body has seen a pathogen before, or if the immune system has seen a pathogen before, they have already developed specific immune cells that'll attack the pathogen. They're called lymphocytes. And if we have never seen a particular pathogen before, then, we're going to get sick. I was amazed to find out that there are 60,000 types of germs that we come in contact daily, but only 1 to 2% of them are actually dangerous. So the tricky part is that the immune system can overreact, and it produces antibodies that travel to cells and release chemicals that cause the allergic reaction. And so we're all familiar with those symptoms, right? They're sneezing and runny nose and coughing and sinus issues. And you can also have stomach problems and skin irritations. So allergies are caused by your immune system responding too strongly to something that's actually not such a big threat. But the tricky part, I think, is finding out what it is that caused your particular symptom. So that can be a little bit trickier to figure out. But ta-da, essential oils always make you feel better, don't you think? Like they always just work to find that homeostasis again, to help your body see the results and feel better. So tonight we're going to talk about how to use essential oils and supplements to feel better when your immune system is on the warpath. And our handout tonight is divided into 3 parts. We have the seasonal issues protocols, we have skin allergies protocols, and we have food allergies. And so Kimberly and Carrie and I are going to talk about each one of those particular concerns. And of course, we invite your questions. And, if you have a protocol that's worked well for you, then we'd love to hear about that too. So Kimberly, you want to start us off?
Absolutely. And for me, this was one of the top things that got me into using the oils in the first place 11 years ago, was because I had such severe allergies, seasonal allergies, to many things. And in the spring and the fall, it was terrible. And it seemed to be, no matter where I was in the country, in the Midwest, I had them. I have them here. I don't seem to have them at the ocean. So I'm thinking about maybe moving there. But anyway, and so I have had so much relief. And I think most of you guys know about the lemon, lavender, and peppermint protocol. And I have this nifty little thing here that I keep these 3 oils in, right? The lemon, lavender, and peppermint. So they're handy at all times because I use them. And so essentially we call it the allergy cocktail. And you can put it in a shot glass. And so when I travel, I have that little pouch from the Pilot diffuser, right? And I keep those oils in there, right? And I keep a little shot glass. And so that way, when I have a problem or if I want to make an allergy cocktail for somebody, I can whip it out and make it right away. And all it is simply is 2 drops of each, 2 drops of the lemon, the lavender, and the peppermint in about 2 ounces of water. And you don't have to be exact with the water, 2, 3 ounces, whatever. And you drink it slowly. And the key is really to let it sit in your mouth under your tongue for a little bit because it goes in sublingually then. And you can start to feel it. So what happens is the lavender is a natural antihistamine and it is amazing. And what do we know about lavender, guys? What does it do?
All things calming.
All things calming. Exactly. So it not only is it a natural antihistamine, but it actually calms all of the tissues in your sinuses. So they're not so angry, right? And then the peppermint, what does the peppermint do? Somebody from the peanut gallery, what does peppermint do when you breathe it?
Gives you energy.
Gives you energy. What else?
Opens
Cleans
up
your
airways.
sinuses.
This is exactly. It opens up your sinuses and it kind of gives you that wow, right? And it's so incredible. And that's why peppermint is in the other oil, the Breathe, which is for our respiratory blend. Peppermint is one of the many oils that is in that blend because it just opens up the airways. So you've got the lavender that's all thing calming and, as the antihistamine, the peppermint that's opening your airways. And then the lemon is actually the cleanser. The lemon helps it to flow out of your system, just like your lymph nodes. That's what our lymphatic system is for, to, get rid of the things that our body doesn't need. And so that lemon really just assists letting go of all that. Now I do the lemon, lavender, peppermint. I do it in a cup. I also have a little squirt bottle, and this is really wonderful. I put in about 10 to 12 drops of each of those oils and fill the rest with water. And I carry it in my purse. My husband, Wade, has one at his office. He's got one in his truck. And it is just, I made him a 2-ouncer. So the 2 ounce is just bigger and better. But for carrying my purse, I like the smaller one. And so the same thing, about 10 to 12 drops of each. And you can just
Are they glass?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You have to use glass always.
Okay.
Unless you're making a spray for a bathroom that you're not putting on your skin or in your body, right? But I'm putting this in my mouth. And so lemon breaks down synthetics, right? We know that. So we don't ever want to have lemon in a plastic bottle. So anyway, so these are really great. You can order them on Amazon or Aroma Tools. I wish doTERRA had them. They only have 30-ounce plastic bottles. So those are great for little room sprays and such. So I make that, okay? And then the other thing, because I really have bad allergies. It's just annoying as heck. So I buy these cute little roller balls. And this is a 5 ml roller ball. And you can just fill up any roller ball. And I have the lemon, lavender, and peppermint in here, but I have some added oils that are on that list that we are giving you. And so I add some different things because I figure I want it to open up, and I roll it right here on my neck. So I roll it right on my glands. Sorry, I shouldn't have had you switch it over so quickly, but anyway, it's okay. Actually, they're not even on here.
No.
Roman chamomile. Where's my Roman chamomile? That should be on the list. That's one of the most important. Yeah, there it is. So Roman chamomile. I also put tea tree oil in there because tea tree is great for allergies, and it also just is great for your immune system. So it kind of helps boost the immune system. So I add the Roman chamomile, the tea tree, and then I also I've been adding copaiba to it, right? Why? Why would I add copaiba to this?
Oh, I know. Oh.
Miss Wendy?
Well, it seems to supercharge the efficacy of all of our essential oils, and it's particularly good for the respiratory system.
Absolutely. So I've added that. Very, very good, Wendy. So I add the copaiba to it too. So I kind of do equal parts of everything. Probably use a little less Roman chamomile because it's quite pricey. But I'll tell you, when you put that Roman chamomile in, it just makes it smell magical. And then I even add a couple drops of wild orange so you can play with it, you know? So I make it smell good. So when I go places, people are like, oh God, you smell so good. What is that? And I'm like, it's my allergy medicine. And they look at me like, what? Your allergy medicine smells good? And it's like, yes. And so, and it really does. And Roman chamomile is a cousin to lavender, in case you guys didn't know that. And so chamomile is a cousin to lavender. So it is also a very, very calming oil, and it just has a beautiful aroma. And I personally like it when it's blended with other oils. And I don't care for it so much alone. I like it.
Neither.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How often can you take it, or do you take it?
Great question, Susan. So that's the beautiful thing about oils is that, first off, when you're buying over-the-counter drugs, they're putting in they've got another synthetic chemical that they can put in that allows it to time release it, right? So you can take a capsule or something every 12 hours because it's time released. Oils, they're all natural, and God did not give us a time release factor in the oils. So we can use them more often. So I usually use them about every 4 hours. And sometimes I use them even more. You know, if I'm just going crazy in my neck or my throat or my ears. Do you guys ever get that itching in your ears? It's like, oh, you just want to go like this. And so I roll this on. So every 3 to 4 hours is just fine. Everybody's going to be different. If you have mild allergies, maybe just using it, 2 to 3 times a day will be enough. But I recommend using it before bed and as soon as you get up in the morning, because generally we wake up and we got that fur ball thing going on and you're right. And so, and generally we have, if you have any sort of post-nasal drip, this can really help with that. You can also roll it right on your sinus cavity right here. Just don't get it too close to your eyes because the peppermint kind of makes your eyes water, but you can put it right here, put it right on your glands. You can put it right in front of your ears. Just like if you had an earache, you'd put it in front and right behind your ears on that ear bone. And it's amazing. You can also roll it on the bottoms of your feet. I honestly can't say, I don't think I've ever just rolled it on my feet to see if it works, because I get so much irritation here in my glands that I just want to get it on there as quickly as possible. So those are the things that I do. And these 2 bottles, this little roller bottle and this one, are always in my purse. All right. Mm-hmm. Now I've tried a few other combinations as well, but I also, before I move on to those, I want to talk about the Tri-Ease capsules. And a lot of people take these, and I had done I asked a little question on our This Stuff Really Works group, to ask what people use for their allergies and if they take the Tri-Ease. And I had many people just say, oh yeah, I swear by them, they're great. I take, 2 a day, or I take 3 a day, or whatever. For some reason, taking them internally doesn't seem to work quite as well for me. And so I think it depends. And allergies are a weird thing. Some people, well, let's just ask around. When you start to feel seasonal allergies, what effects do you feel, Susan? Do you get itchy eyes, itchy throat?
Oh, yeah.
Something?
Yeah, those symptoms are incredibly itchy, watery eyes.
Okay. Okay, so let's address that in a minute. Who else? What other kind of symptoms does anybody get?
I get
Runny
the real
nose.
itchy in the throat, back in the back of the throat.
The
Real
back-
itchy. Mhm.
Itchy in the back of the throat. Okay. And Wendy gets a runny nose,
Crunchy nose.
crunchy nose, crunchy
Just
nose.
boring or crunchy? Yeah. Dry.
Okay. So you see, it affects everybody in a different way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's address those different ways. Itchy eyes. 2 of the greatest things you can do is your lavender, once again, or Roman chamomile, or frankincense. Any one of those, if you just take your little bottle and take your finger, go like that, and then dab it under your eye, right on your eye bone here, not close to your eye, not on top of your eye, just right here on your lower, this eye bone. And you just dab, all I did was put 1 drop, and I'm dabbing it on both eye bones, okay? So you can use any one of those 3 oils and it will really help with the itchy eye thing. Okay. So then we had a runny nose. So a runny nose, I would make the allergy cocktail for that for sure. The lemon, lavender, and peppermint. The other thing you can do is, I know we talked on another call about using a Q-tip in your nose. Kathy uses her finger. I prefer the Q-tip. My finger doesn't fit up there very well. So, and I just like the cleanliness of it. So I get a Q-tip and I put some fractionated coconut oil on the Q-tip or whatever kind of, carrier oil you're using. So I get the Q-tip nice and moist. And then there are several oils you can dab on the inside of your nose. And so you can use frankincense. Rosemary is a really great one. You can use eucalyptus, or you can use lavender, or you can use a mix of both of those. So you take your little Q-tip, get the fractionated coconut oil on it, put a drop of lavender and maybe a drop of frankincense. And then you just take that and please sit down when you're doing this. Don't walk around the house. We women, we multitask all the time, right? And so just don't, because if you were to trip, you'd send that thing up your nose and I don't want to be responsible. Okay. So just sit and then just gently swab the whole inside of your nose, both nostrils. It'll clear it up. And what it does is it really helps protect, your sinuses, especially here in Nevada or in the desert. It's very dry and our noses get so dry. And sometimes you blow your nose and you get kind of blood in it. And so the tissues just get really, really thin. So that helps it. And the frankincense help. Tea tree is another one you can use. So there's so many different ones you can use in your nostrils. So I think that about covers. Oh, I wanted to talk about 2 more products that are helpful. Some people use Digest Zen, and it's our digestive oil. And they will put it along their sinuses across the bridge of their nose. And they say it helps to break up, mucus and stuff. It doesn't work for me, but it does work really well for many people. If you get mucus in your throat, there's a couple things that I'll use fennel, which is a free product of the month. If you get your 125 PV order in by tomorrow, you'll get fennel. And I just take a drop of fennel and I just drop it on the back of my tongue. And then I drink it. And it just helps kind of break up a little bit of that mucus. There's a few oils that will help that. Cardamom's another one. So I just like to share those. So everybody's got it just a little bit different. The sore throat, Rebecca, you can do gargle with On Guard, gargle with, there's so many different things you can gargle with. Lemon is really good. And then again, use the lemon, lavender, and peppermint. On your throat. It will really help. Lastly, I want to talk about 2 more products. Zendocrine, which we've talked about because it's a cleansing thing, right? Somebody's texting me. I don't know if they're trying to get on. Okay. And the Zendocrine is a great thing if you've had, it just helps cleanse your liver, because remember, our liver is our filter. And when we have allergies, all the pollen and everything goes through our liver. So it can kind of build up. And so just taking the Zendocrine, if your allergies are really high, I would say take the Zendocrine for like a week, just to try to cleanse some of that out of your liver. It's a great helper. And then they also say that the Terrazyme, because Terrazyme is an enzyme, and so it can also help break down mucus and all that kind of stuff. Anytime you have an enzyme, it breaks down stuff. But pay attention to what it is you're doing, what it is you're allergic to. Sometimes we don't know. You can go have allergy tests. I just chose not to. I didn't feel like spending thousands of dollars to figure out what I was allergic to, because, it's not, I don't have any. Now, if you go into anaphylactic shock, then I'm going to recommend you go to your allergist. But for basic seasonal allergies and food allergies and some of the things that the girls are going to talk about, we've got some great solutions to try. And if you have serious allergies, then you need to see a doctor and have something ready for you in case you were to eat something that you're highly allergic to. we don't want to take any chances on that, right? So
Yeah.
any questions on that at all, on the seasonal part?
I-
No,
I
but
have- go ahead.
go ahead. I was just going to say, I know that everybody on the call is like, oh, Kimberly, she's so smart. You know, and she's so smart. But you have access to all of this information, either in your reference book, like the Essential Life book, or
Yeah.
if you have an app on your phone. You know, while Kimberly was talking about the Roman chamomile, I went into Modern Essentials and there was this list, and sure enough, it's right there in that list. So if you don't have an app on your phone, and you don't really know how to do that kind of stuff, just let us know. We'd be happy to show you how to do that. Some of them are free.
Yeah.
Modern Essentials is a little bit, it's like $7.99 or something like that, but you get access to it forever.
Good one.
And it's a good one. And you don't even have to be on Wi-Fi to access it. So it's a great tool. And there are others, but that's a really good one. So sorry, Carrie, I hope I didn't interrupt you.
No, that's good. I just was saying that I actually put my lemon, lavender, peppermint in a bottle I used when I first started. I just put 2 drops of each because I didn't know about the triese. And then you literally just shake it up. My father-in-law, who won't use any oil, anything natural, he literally, I gave it to him one time. I said, just trust me for a second. And then after, if it doesn't work, I'll never ask you for another opportunity. And you
Right.
just literally go, you squirt it in the very back of your throat. Now that I love these oils, I squirt like, I squirt a couple times, but I'll use it several times a day. And I'll put like 5 to 8 drops because I really like the punch of it. But I recommend only using 2, but that's just something you can do on your own.
I use 10 to 12, Carrie.
Yeah, see, you're past me because I think this is 8 each.
Yeah.
And
So it just really depends. And this is it, girls. When you make it, if you're not getting the results, add more. You can always add more. 2 to me, I don't think I ever did 2. I probably maybe did 4 to 6 initially in a 1 ounce. And now I'm up to, 10 in a 1 ounce. And in a 2 ounce, I'm in like 12.
Yeah, they're not big. They fit in my itty bitty tiny purse. I have a little tiny purse.
Exactly.
They fit right in it.
Put them anywhere. And
Yeah.
it's great. And it's the kind of thing that you can also share with somebody else because you're not sticking it in your mouth.
I don't lick it.
You're spraying it. And don't be afraid to you can spray as much as you need. I spray the back of my throat. I spray under my tongue. I spray the top of my mouth, just kind of move it in different directions.
It feels good.
It's powerful. So those are the great ones. Cilantro is another one. There are some on the list there that you'll see that are also, helpers. So you can experiment. And the other thing I do is I put, if you're in a room, like when I go to bed at night, I put the lemon, lavender, and peppermint right here in my diffuser, and it's right next to my bed. And then I'll add maybe a drop of bergamot or something else to just make it smell nicer, Roman chamomile, anything else. Because I got to say, the lemon, lavender, peppermint, it kind of has a strong scent.
Cleansing. Yeah, cleansing smell.
It's cleansing. It's not as pleasurable. I know Cindy Lou, she always said when she would spray it in her mouth, her husband would call her dragon breath. So she said she added geranium to it. And I'm thinking, geranium.
I love that. Yeah, I love geranium.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, you can add whatever. I would do Roman chamomile or something.
So you're recommending the little glass, like the 2 ounce bottles. Do people know where to buy those?
Aroma Touch or Amazon. Amazon has them. Usually you buy them in a 6-pack or a 3-pack. And honestly, getting 6 of these, you're going to find all sorts of uses for them. You
might even share them with somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Share them with somebody who's got an allergy that you care about. You can make them up in allergy cocktails. So
great. Thank you. All right. You ready, Carrie?
Yeah. When I wanted to say the same thing as Kimberly, when I first started, my friend Beth came in and I was cleaning her teeth and my nose was stuffy and I can't take antihistamines. They make me groggy and I feel fuzzy. I can't think of the next thing. So she gave me wild orange and peppermint on my hand and I squirted, went like this. And I have allergies right now because I was outside. I've been dusting and I couldn't believe how much it opened my airways. I said, let's talk later. And that week I bought a kit. That's what got me started. And so I use this all day, but even if you don't have outside allergies, I don't know, we live in Nevada and there was a tornado wind the other day. I mean, I walked through a neighborhood yesterday and all the branches were on the ground. It looked like a tornado had gone through. And so I was walking in the dust, even if you're just cleaning out behind a desk or a bed, this comes in really handy. And personally, if you like pills, that's great. Otherwise, I like what Kimberly's recommending. And then I like the spray bottles. But this I can use on my husband as he's driving. He doesn't buy $30 in Walmart antihistamines over the counter anymore. When we started, that was the #1 thing we started using. So thank you, Kimberly. That helps. And she's a wealth of knowledge. I feel like we need to type up what we're listening to because she gives all the recipes and I love it. And if something doesn't work, talk to one of us, because in the beginning, like the lemon lavender peppermint didn't work for my husband. And that's when somebody else told me to use Digesten. And I'm like, that's for your stomach. And so he put it just a little bit right here because his face gets puffy. And how many of you get sinus infections? Do any of you get those regularly? If I get them, they don't hurt my face, but he'll literally lay on the pillow and it'll hurt him. His face gets puffy. And the Digesten helps him on top of this. So we layer oils for him too. So you can use one thing. And like Susan asked, how often, how much. It's almost like how much can you eat a snack? Like our body knows what to do with this. It's like food and water. So you can do it as often as you need to. It won't hurt you unless you don't dilute it and then you put it on whole. So, and on that note, when Wendy was talking, she was talking about the skin issues. And so I wanted to share one of the ones that I use for my husband. It's psoriasis. And I found it. This is not information that comes from a science mind, right? I just literally look in a book. And I wanted to show you one of my books. I have the older version. I have all the versions of different books that come out, but it's Essential Life. It's more like a magazine. A lot of people like this, so I learned to use it. I like the other one that has more lists in it, but it says under here, the psoriasis one. And does anyone here have someone who suffers from that they would have need of the recipe? Okay, Wendy. So just so you know, in this one, and all I did was I took a bottle. I bought a 6-pack. This is not the doTERRA ones. I like them better because they're darker brown. So when they're in the sun, they don't change the integrity of the oil. But it also has a plastic bottle on the top. The ones I think we get from doTERRA have a metal one and it just feels nicer if you're putting it on your face. But this has geranium, clary sage, rosemary, zendocrine, Roman chamomile, and then fractionated coconut oil. And I put 10 drops of each. It doesn't, and then I fill the rest with oil. It doesn't tell you how many, but my husband never had psoriasis until his mom died. And then now it's just a stress thing that flared. And my mom had it on her elbows. And I made her one of these and she no longer has any of the rash. So sometimes I would make this up for someone who has a rash. They don't know where it comes from. Again, I'm not diagnosing or treating, but it's a good oil for many things. And like what Kimberly and Wendy were saying, like Roman chamomiles and many, geraniums and many. So anyway, that's
so
just
tell me again: geranium, clary sage,
geranium,
rosemary, zendocrine, Roman chamomile.
And then fractionated coconut oil. Yeah.
And so just even number of drops.
I do 10 of each and then I fill the rest. Yeah, because I make it a little stronger for him. And I wanted to remind us all, because I have friends who give me all their bottles back. I don't know what to do with them. So I actually make a double dose for my husband. So he gets a refill bottle because he travels. So I know it's a simple thing. It takes 2 seconds, but it seems like it's hard to get all the oils out. So I get them out. I put the stickers on there. I tape it so it doesn't melt off. And then I just make another bottle. So this is one of my old bottles, my old helichrysum bottle.
Great.
You can recycle.
So you make the blend in that other bottle so it's ready just to refill.
He just pours it in when he's done. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. It's a lazy man's way to do it, but
It's a great idea because, I'll tell you this, guys. Have you ever been like, this happened to me when I got sick once, or I felt something coming on and it ended up being COVID. Okay. 2 years ago, I didn't have my flu bomb ready.
No,
I didn't have, it was, I just didn't think I was right. And so you can be too sick to even put your oils in a bottle. And so if you have your flu bomb made up, if you have your allergy meds made up, if you have it ready, then it's ready to go. Whenever you
Yeah.
need it. You don't have to go, oh, I got to make this. I can't think straight. Cause you know, when you're sick or even allergies can sometimes make your brain just not function right, or a headache,
yeah.
migraine headache or whatever. So if you have any of those issues and you have some oils that help you with, you know, with something like that, it's really smart to make up, you know, a roller ball. But I love that, Carrie. I never have made an extra bottle of it ready to go.
And it sits with it. So I didn't label that one because I was lazy when I did it. And so it sits near it. So he knows what it is. And then there's no smells around it. Yeah.
And that's important. Label your stuff, because I do that all the time. And it's like, what is this?
Yeah. And then the oils mixed together. Well, and the other thing is I mean, you guys can have as much fun with this as you want, but this is my little kit. So I have a jar that has all my old, my extra, you know, bottle, whatever, the little things in it. And these are all my old bottles. And I soaked one. In, you just add a little bit of vinegar to water in one of these little glass dishes. I'm sorry, I'm doing it really fast. That's just a little glass dish. And I soaked it for a couple of days. And I wanted to show you after soaking it, because you try and do this without soaking, it doesn't come off, but look how easy that just peels off. This is my old bottle for my HD Clear that my daughter got, and she gave me the bottle. So then you just take it off and then you clean it, and then it's got the bottle on it. Sometimes these are hard to get off. So I use a butter knife and you just kind of get under it. There's some tools you can buy that come with them and you can just pop it off. Thank you.
This little tool is really great to have.
It costs like $1.
Back office, and they're a couple bucks, and they help you take the tops off of all of your bottles. They're great.
Yeah, so you can recycle, or you can just buy them in your back office and give them to someone else. Let them recycle. But one of the on the sheet that Wendy sent you, the Skin Soother roller bottle. After going through all of that, I actually I labeled it. I have a little labeler from Walmart. It cost me like 20 bucks. And I just put it on there to show you guys. If I wasn't making it for you, I probably wouldn't have labeled it like that. I make it nicer for you than I would myself. But essentially what you're going to do, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to start with lavender. And I think Kimberly covered lavender pretty well, the cousin to chamomile. And so I'm just going to put 10 drops, and I'm half in the dark. You can see how fast lavender comes out. It's a thinner oil. So I don't know. I wish I had somebody time me so I can say, how many seconds does this take? You know, I'm too busy. I don't want to do this. Well, watch, I'm just doing it. And I have a handicapped hand. So if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Helichrysum is a
it's
great
really
essential
not
oil too.
that big of a deal. It's fun once you start mixing stuff, and you feel like a little alchemist, you know?
Yeah, and at the end, like this one's towards the end, and I don't want you to ever waste the oil. There's probably 10 drops stuck on the side of the bottle, but at the very end, I couldn't get a drop out of it. This is expensive. It's Helichrysum. So I just tap it on there and then I get a drop in it, but I'll fill this with water. And like we said in our old classes, I'll take a marker so I don't forget when I add the water, and I just put like a little X on it or a little line. So I know that that bottle is diluted, because when I make these blends, I don't want to use it diluted. I want to use the pure stuff. So all I have left is frankincense. Frankincense is like the mother of all oils. When you don't know what to use frankincense.
I'm sorry, you said water. Are you using water instead of fractionated coconut oil?
You know, I'm sorry I said water. No, I'm using oil, but I do have blends that I spray, like the lemon, lavender, peppermint that I spray.
That has water.
Exactly.
Water. Yeah. Most of the others is oil. So
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. And then this, you can see how much, it doesn't look like much, and you think, okay, it's not going to do very much, but that's very powerful and super potent. So, and I just fill it not to the very tip top, but just to where the bottle kind of curves. And this is doTERRA's bottle. It's got an easy orifice, so you can't like gush it all in there and spill it. I've done this over my computer, not a good thing. So I love doTERRA's bottles because they're easy to pour.
Wendy, could you remove the thank you. I just want him to be able to see Carrie.
Yeah, and all I did was And then you take this before you use it, and it's clear. Like I said, I like the darker bottles, but you can see it's just clear. So, but before you use any of your blends, you should shake it up. And then let's just say you have psoriasis in an area that you don't want to use your roller bottle, like maybe in a spot that could be stinky, sweaty, just roll it on your hand and then apply it, like, put it on. I don't have psoriasis, but if I have a little bug bite or something, guess what? I can go in and grab this. I'm sorry, I'm talking about psoriasis. This is a skin soother roller bottle. This is the one I use on my, I have a bug bite from the other day outside, mosquito. It's been a long day. And I rolled it on my bump that was really big because I react to everything, it seems like. And anyway, this is what I would use this on. I would use it on a bug bite. I would use it on any kind of irritation. The other day I got welts. I don't know what I touched. Yes, Susan.
At what point, when you have all of these things that work so well for you, you're walking around with 20 oils on your body?
Well, I did that once. I was using 30 things. Honestly, I was using like 30 things. And then I thought, I don't think the oils are helping me. I'm not sure, because I felt really good. I quit taking everything, and wow, did I ache and hurt with all the things I treat. So you just start over, but it's almost like, imagine your medicine cabinet. We used to do a class called the Medicine Cabinet Makeover. Do you use everything that's in your medicine cabinet all the time? No. But if you label it, guess what? My headache stuff, I love your question. Let me just show you this, right? It's in here. So I have like 4 of these. Okay, so you have all your oils, you have all your blends, and I alphabetize them because I'm weird. So this is my medicine cabinet, and everyone knows where it is when they come in my house. These could not fit in my cabinet. But if it's in here, it's got a label on it. If it doesn't, I have another spot for stuff that I don't remember what was in it. So if I have a headache, this is not something you get in 6 months. You get this after 9 years of using them. And then do I use all of these oils all the time? Absolutely not. But I share them a lot. Like I'll go in and use something, I'll look it up. I love our classes because it makes me go, oh shoot, I think I have that oil, and what do you do with it? So you don't need this many oils. I just love them. And I think there's so many uses. It's like my medicine cabinet. I want all this stuff here. And I'm kind of stocking up a little bit because of, you just never know what you can get at the store, right? So
How does your house smell?
when you open this right now, I feel like I just had a vacation. It's like the best thing in the world. Just go and put your nose in there. And
that's a great question, Susan. I swear, anytime somebody comes to my house or to my van, they walk in my house and they the first thing they say, your house always smells like a spa, or it always smells so good. Or when they hug me, they're like, you always smell so good. Can I just hug you longer? And that's my allergy cocktail on my neck, and they're like, you smell so good. And it's
like you get on an elevator with 5 other people. Are they all going to be smelling what
Well, it depends. One of the things about essential oils, and I want to make, like perfumes, for example, they can make people sick. They can give people headaches because they're synthetic. And you get on an elevator with somebody who's got heavy perfume. It's like, oh my God, get me off here, right? The oils are not that strong. People might smell them. Some will smell them more than others, but they dissipate because they're volatile. They're just volatile, so they evaporate, so they don't last as long. So you put it on, and people have to come up and hug you to really smell it. Sometimes if you just freshly put it on and you walk by, they'll get a whiff of it. So it just depends. Everybody's got a different sense of smell. But
have they done what they're supposed to do, and then once they dissipate, it's like no longer in your system then?
Well, great question. The aroma dissipates and the oil absorbs into your skin. And that's why, so as opposed to if you're using oils neat, which means you're just taking the oil and putting it directly on your skin, that's called neat. Or if you're diluting, like what Carrie and I are doing with our allergy cocktails, you're diluting it with, if you're spraying it in your mouth, you're going to dilute it with water. But when I make this roller ball for my throat, I use fractionated coconut oil. Okay. And what the fractionated coconut oil does is it helps your body absorb the oils so they can get in there and do their job and they don't evaporate as quickly. Okay. So you could put some oil on, take, let's say, a drop of lemon and you're putting it on your hand. Oh, and it smells so wonderful. Well, it's just going to start to dissipate. So then take your fractionated coconut oil and put a couple drops on and rub it on, and it'll drive the oil into your tissue. So it goes into where it's supposed to work. It's magic.
Mhm.
Okay.
Does that
Thank
make
you.
sense? You're welcome.
Yeah,
Very
and I think
helpful.
the other thing that comes up for me with Susan's question is that the aroma is one aspect of healing with essential oils, but then we also have the cellular changes that happen due to the chemical constituents of the
Yeah.
oils making their way into your cells.
Mhm.
So you might smell lavender, lemon, and peppermint, and it smells lovely, but there's all this chemical reaction that's happening inside your body.
And so just 2 or 4 drops of something can
Yes.
really be that powerful?
Yes, they're very
Yes.
powerful. And just as I said at the beginning of class, plants and people share an innate immune system. So plants are making these chemicals to support themselves, keeping fungus away, keeping parasites away, keeping bacterial infections away. And we share that same innate immune system. So that's how we can use essential oils to protect our health and wellness too.
And
So
I
is it,
forget, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so is it like the pores that actually absorb the oils?
Good question. So
Yeah.
essential oils are something called lipid compounds. And anything that's a lipid compound will be welcomed by your body. And the size of these compounds are tiny enough that they can slip right into your skin. If you think about some of the, like, do you use moisturizer on your face?
Uh-huh.
Right. So the chemicals or the molecules inside your moisturizer are too large typically to permeate your skin. But if we use essential oils inside of our moisturizer, if our moisturizer infused with essential oils, then the essential oils will pass through the skin because it is a like compound. Your body goes, oh, yay, lipids. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll
So
take
is
that. And
that
it actually goes in.
Is that also why, like, if you do the oils for your hair, and I'll mix like peppermint oil and lavender and I think tea tree with castor oil and do a hair treatment, and it's supposed to help with the follicles.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Stimulate.
Yep.
Good idea. I like that.
Yeah,
Do you use
it's very
rosemary
good.
as well, Rebecca?
Yes.
Yeah,
Rosemary
that's
is
really
great.
good. Yeah.
Very
And
good.
so
Yeah.
it only takes 22 seconds for the molecules when you're using the oils or smelling the oils. It takes 22 seconds for the molecules to reach the brain. So when we're smelling something to, help stimulate our brain or calm us down or rev us up, that's how quickly it is. When we put it on our skin, on our wrists, on our neck, anywhere, it takes about 2 minutes to enter into the bloodstream. That's it, just 2 minutes, okay? And then it takes about 20 minutes for those oils to affect every cell in your body.
No.
So,
Wow.
I mean, they're so amazing. God gave us everything we needed on this earth.
Right.
And
And you don't need much to make a difference. You don't need
Well,
much.
and that's the other reason why it's really good to put the oils on your feet at night, and sometimes to even put socks on just to kind of help it kind of stay on your feet before it gets on your sheets or everything. But it does absorb into your system a lot faster through the bottom of your feet as well.
Yeah, they say that. They say the pores are larger on the bottoms of your feet. I also think that the bottoms of the feet are a good place to put oils because the skin seems like it's a little tougher. So if you have a tendency to react to an oil, and as much as I love lavender, that seems to be a surprising oil for me to consider, that some people have a little bit of an allergic reaction to lavender oil topically. But if they put it on the bottoms of their feet or even on their palms, they don't seem to have a rash. So I don't know. There's just something tougher, I think, about that skin. It's just not as delicate.
Yeah.
Well, and 1 drop of peppermint is equal to 28 cups of tea. It's like, we have homeopathy. with herbs. And then we
Oh,
have
wow.
doTERRA oils. That's why people say they're so expensive. And I'm like, do you know how much rosemary you would have to buy to equal 1 drop of doTERRA rosemary? You'd have to spend a lot of money. So that's why, especially when you first start out, you only need 1 drop. How many drops, you guys, are in the big bottle?
250.
No?
250.
250. Yeah. And how many are in the little ones? How many are in these?
5 mils.
85 or something. 85,
87.
85, right? You're
87.
good. Yeah.
87.
And so that's a lot of medicine, right? That's a lot of food. That's a lot of potent, powerful, wonderful stuff. And the sicker you are, the less you need. When
Yeah.
you start to get healthy and your body starts to get to where everything's functioning really well, then you need more and your body can deal with it. But when you're really sick, you only need a little bit. And the reason is because your body is processing. It's like food. When you get sick, you don't want to eat a buffet. You want to eat less, right? And the body knows what to do. When it's sick, it's not operating optimally. And when you use less, it helps you gain balance. You want the key of all of these is balance. So yeah.
And
Rose-
one,
Oh, I was going to say Rose had a question or something.
Oh.
She
I was just gonna mention, I have my mother here right now and she gets a little bit anxious. And last night I said, put this lavender on the bottom of your feet. I put Serenity in her diffuser. And at 11 o'clock in the morning, the next day she came out and she said, I can't believe I slept till 11 o'clock.
Good
And
job.
it was hilarious. It was
Oh
like,
my God, you
that's great.
found out, didn't you, Rose?
I put her out. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
Put her out.
she was so relaxed. She just said, I can't believe I slept till 11 o'clock.
Wow.
That's
that's so
wonderful.
Love that. Love that. Thanks for
Do that
sharing.
on Thanksgiving when the whole family's there and you're like, it's just my diffuser, and put stuff like pick out oils that match personalities and just put it over there. Make sure it smells good.
the other thing that came up for me when Susan asked her question is that we can't OD on essential oils. They're very quick in the body. They don't accumulate
Yeah.
in the liver. So there's no need to worry about overdosing on
Potency.
lavender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're strong, but
Yeah.
but it's like food. It really is. They're just concentrated, protective. Yeah.
Right. And speaking of food, I think I'm just going to go on, if you don't mind, unless there's another question.
No, we're good.
Okay. So I was just going to talk to you about food allergies versus food sensitivities. And a food allergy is when you eat something like, shellfish. If somebody has an allergic reaction to shellfish and their throat starts to close, right? Like that's a food allergy. But I think what's more common and a little sneakier is a food sensitivity.
Mhm.
And a food sensitivity is an allergic reaction, but it takes several days after you've eaten a particular food to actually show up. So for the longest time I had, and some people know this already, but I had this circle of dry skin around my mouth and I lived with it for years. And I would buy these beautiful, expensive creams. And at night before I went to sleep, I'd put these cream on and I go, okay, tomorrow my skin is going to be fine. No, I just have that rash, chronic rash every day. I learned a bit about health coaching and I was excited to offer elimination and transition diets for people so that they could learn about their own food sensitivities. And I did this for myself before I presented it to some friends and discovered that I wasn't going to be eating eggs for a couple of weeks. Eggs were a natural part of my diet and I ate them all the time. Eggs and toast, eggs and toast, eggs and toast. And once I did my elimination and transition diet and took myself off of eggs, that dry skin around my mouth disappeared. And it was only when I started eating eggs again that the dry skin around my mouth came out again. So
Wow.
obviously I have a sensitivity to eggs. So
Mhm.
on this handout that I've given you today, we have a food allergies protocol, and I would say food allergies / sensitivities protocol, and that I would recommend that you follow this. This is something that I do For myself, I love deep blue polyphenols, and unfortunately they're not available right at the moment. So if you have an inventory of them, good for you. But I
Mhm.
understand that they'll be available towards the end of this month. But it's Lifelong Vitality Pack, of course, our PB Assist, which is our probiotic, the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. And if you're not quite sure what polyphenols are, that's what gives fruits and vegetables their bright colors. And they work in your gut to help manage inflammation. They work best when you take them with an essential fatty acid, which is what we find in our XEO Mega, which is in the Lifelong Vitality Pack. The Terrazyme digestive enzymes, which we talk about all the time to help you break down your particles of food into tiny, tiny, tiny little bits to help you get through the digestive system easier. And lavender, all things calming. So if you do suffer with food allergies and or sensitivities, I would recommend that you try this protocol. Also, I don't know if anybody knows Dr. Marisa Snyder. Is anybody familiar with her?
Dr. Aminitza, yes, she's awesome.
Maritza, she is so good. Well, today on Facebook, can everybody see this? Common symptoms related to food sensitivities. Can you see that little graphic?
We just see the sheet.
Oh,
they
we
hand
see
out.
the sheet. You need to
Okay.
unshare and then share again.
Yeah, I was hoping I could just sneak in there, but evidently
Yeah,
not.
I
Here
know,
it
I've
is.
done the same thing.
Here it is. Okay, now you can see it, right?
Mhm.
So she just posted this today on Facebook, and so I was happy to be able to
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
copy and share that with you. And so if you do have a food sensitivity, it can affect various systems of the body: respiratory, gastrointestinal, cardiovascular, skin, muscular, and instead of mental, let's use emotional. And the symptoms are things that you would recognize as being perhaps even a seasonal allergy, right? So I'm always complaining that I have this phlegmy cough, and there it is under the symptom for a respiratory, how do I want to say that? A respiratory symptom associated with a food sensitivity. And I already know that I have an egg allergy, and I suspect that I also have a dairy sensitivity. Other sensitivities can be gluten, processed sugars, caffeine, alcohol, nuts, soy. So if you're at all interested in understanding what your own food sensitivities are, there are blood tests that you can take, or you could do, as I have done, an elimination and transition diet. And it's about a 21-day program. The first week is just getting your cupboards cleaned out and getting your head in the game. And then the first week is a elimination diet where you're taking some of those common food triggers out of your diet. And then the next week you're adding them back in to see how your body responds. So if anybody's interested in that, please let me know. It's actually oddly fun to do that. The food tastes great. You're not going to be suffering from any withdrawals other than having beautiful skin, lots of energy, better sleep, less pain. But I just thought I would share that with you. I thought this was a great graphic from Dr. Marisa Snyder.
It's good.
Okay, any questions, concerns, complaints, criticisms tonight?
This
No,
has
we
been
did
great
good.
for me.
Well, good. It's been
Good.
nice to see you, everybody, but really nice to see you, Susan. Had been a little while. So yeah, if there's anything that we can help you with, don't hesitate to ask, whether it's on this stuff or just send us a text or respond to an email. And we'll see you next time. We do have our autoimmune protocol for month 2 on June 21st. Is that right?
Sunday.
No, it's not this Sunday, it's the next.
The first is a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll have our class on Tuesday. So our
Oh.
regularly scheduled fundamentals of wellness class every other Tuesday. And Kimberly, when do we want to make the change?
Well, I don't know,
I know.
we'll discuss that.
Okay, tomorrow we'll talk about it.
My
So-
issue, still have Max on Wednesdays.
The
So
Wednesdays I have choir usually, so I probably won't be able to.
come.
Yeah. Unless it's like the 5:30, I can come in for like half hour, 45 minutes and then jam to church.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's usually what we do. Yeah.
But
So
we'll
if
let you know when we change it. We're
Yeah.
just
And then if
discussing
you
it.
record it, you can always send them to me and that would be awesome too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And June 26th is our next class.
The Tuesday, is that a Tuesday night?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the Tuesday would be the 28th.
Yeah, the 26th is that's our Sunday class. But
That's
Okay.
our Sunday autoimmune. And then
Okay,
next Tuesday is the 28th and less notified. Yeah.
okay. So
Okay.
did everybody catch that? So we'll have a Sunday autoimmune class on June 26th.
Mhm.
And then on the 28th, we'll have our regularly scheduled fundamentals of wellness.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
All
Good night,
right.
Linda.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming, Michelle.
Yeah, nice to see everybody tonight. Talk to you soon, okay?
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good
Night,
night.
everybody.
Night.